Michigan State University. Stone. I did say Stone, right?
Oh, I thought it was Snow.
Oh, I thought it said Stone.
Oh
man.
Don't listen to me.
Oh, this is going to be a fun broadcast if we're starting out like this. But, so anyways, we're going to talk about social science, but just a couple like clarifying things. If you don't catch the whole broadcast, you can watch this afterwards on Periscope. You can also, I'll be uploading them probably not tonight, probably tomorrow on YouTube, and I'll also make a podcast out of it onto SoundCloud for everyone else, so that way you have ample opportunity to watch it in different formats. And if you have questions that you don't get in at this time, feel free to tweet me, and I'll get the questions to John, and we'll see if we can get the answers to those questions that you have. If you have any questions, make sure you send them on through, and we'll try to answer them live on air here. But I'm going to let John here kind of tell us what is social science, like maybe why should we care about as regular, I shouldn't say regular scientists, but those that do outdoor conservation, ecology science. Why is social science important for us? So.
Well, my specific interest in this, I'm going to try to frame it in the context of this BioBlitz, is in the public participation angle. Who is participating in these kinds of events? I should just say as a disclaimer up front that I'm a newbie when it comes to BioBlitzes. I really don't know much about the process, so I'm here today to learn how this is done, in what kinds of activities take place, and just how the process is run, so I can better understand how to help design public participation kinds of programs that might better serve the surrounding communities and so on. Now, my background is in anthropology, and people tend to think of anthropologists as stones and bones and grass skirts, and I'm not that kind of anthropologist. I specialize in using ethnographic research techniques to try to identify marginalized or disenfranchised segments of the population that might not otherwise have the access to participating in these kinds of events. And if we can understand better who's not participating, we can design outreach efforts to try to better reach those populations. So we see BioBlitzes as a subset or a type of a broader citizen science effort. And to the best of my knowledge, and I also have to say that I'm just coming up to speed in the citizen science realm as well. I don't think well, let me say that I think there's a disproportionate amount of emphasis that's placed on the science side and bringing citizens to science. I would like to take a scientific approach to understanding the citizenry that is participating in these kinds of events as a means of building a demographic profile that we could compare, say, to the demographic profile of surrounding community or communities, and use that as a means of identifying who's here, and more importantly, who's not here, and to try to develop culturally sensitive ways of bringing in underserved populations into this mix. So this is a very first preliminary step for me, although I'm surrounded by experts here who are handling the the specifics of the BioBlitz itself, and I'm learning from them. So right now I feel like I'm the student, and I shouldn't be talking to people here. I should be doing more listening than talking.
Yeah, I think that's one big thing with all the SciComm folks that we have on here, is learning how to do outreach. Like, we want to be able to figure out who that community is of people and how do we target them, and that's what you're doing, is helping to teach us how we need to formulate our outreach to be able to hit them, because it's so much of, we want the public to be able to see all the awesome science we're doing, but I think sometimes as scientists we don't know the ways to be able to engage with the public. Mm-hmm. And so with having social scientists like you're going to help inform us ways of either doing things like periscopes here or doing BioBlitzes, other different ways that are the most effective ways and what populations we're actually hitting.
Right. Yeah, I see it as a two-way street where through the BioBlitz and through citizen science in general, the idea is to bring citizens together to better understand how science works in their backyard at national mm-hmm. parks and so on, but also to use social scientific techniques to better understand the citizenry as well. So it's really a two-way street. And so my interest is much more on the people side, and so we'll see how it goes. This is just a first step in trying to build a better, again, culturally sensitive kind of evaluative process to our BioBlitzes here that are run by Cerulean, and also to recognize that we believe that the different communities bring a measure of what we'll call local knowledge or cultural knowledge, and that their knowledge or their understanding of the environment around us it can help us understand how better to conduct the science as well. So it really is about an outreach effort, and my personal interest is with the underserved populations and how we can better engage them on their terms and procedures that are familiar and comfortable to them.
Yeah, because I feel like, and by the way, if you have any questions here for John, feel free to send them on in. I know with my outreach that I do through science communication, or SciComm as we like to call it, I feel a lot of it's just very haphazard, where I'm just going and experimenting with different things and kind of seeing how it works. Like, I've kind of latched onto the whole Periscope and live broadcasting thing, and I find that works really well. And Twitter has been really great for me as an addition, as a way to reach out. But I feel kind of like sometimes I'm doing more in-reach, where I'm talking to just other scientists, and I'm not necessarily doing public outreach to people. And I think, yeah, it's great to be able to talk to other scientists about what it is you're working on, but sometimes you kind of get into that echo chamber, and so to be able to find ways to be able to branch out, is, doing this Periscope, is that effective? But maybe I'm missing a population that I didn't even think of, and like, how do I reach them with, what I think is the awesome research I'm doing? Because, we want to be able to share that, because it's exciting stuff, but finding ways to make it exciting for that public so they'll engage with it and thus be more likely to, take, a stake in it and be more supportive of that research as it goes on. Because I think sometimes, at least on our end, we kind of feel like maybe the public sees what we do as kind of like this, mystery box of things. We just put everything in, we pull out, and we have, hey, here's this published paper, and they don't necessarily see it, and you can help us reach them and be able to see that.
And it's not just with the general public either. We can also think about communities in terms of the disciplines that are represented by the experts that participate in these events as well. And so it was one of the great things about the Cerulean Center, I think, is its mix of natural scientists, biological scientists, social scientists, and engineers and technologists, and more that I haven't mentioned here today. So it's a grand attempt to try to keep communication going, and recognizing that the greater the diversity of the knowledge bases that we pull from, I think the more robust our understanding will be in the long term.
Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions coming in right now, so is there anything that we've kind of missed that you want to cover?
It's because everyone says, who cares?
You know what's going to happen is they're all going to watch it afterwards and be like, oh, yes, social science. We actually really do need that. Let's start paying attention to that, and that's when all the questions are going to come in.
Maybe they'll contact the other John Stone at Michigan State.
That is true. Yes. It could happen. So, all right, with that, I'm going to say thank you to John for joining us, and if you didn't catch all of this, make sure that you can watch it either on Periscope, you can catch it later on YouTube or SoundCloud when I get it uploaded as well. Just a quick plug, in a few minutes here, we're going to be talking to Brian Allen about birds, and we all know people like birds out there, so all you ornithology geeks out there, tune in just a few minutes, and we'll have that live broadcast coming up. Other than that, if you've never been out here to Sleeping Bear Dunes, come out and enjoy it. It's absolutely beautiful. The Cerulean Center's done a really good job with this BioBlitz, and hopefully it's something that's going to continue to grow from here. So we'll see you all in a few minutes, and until then, have a good one.
Don't poke the bear.